Hey everyone, we're going to try to record this meeting and see what happens. I'm doing this video on Zoom. I wish I was there with y'all instead of sitting here in my dining room. So I'm going to go through the first lesson on finance, which is a lesson called Simple Interest. So I'm guessing we can all see that because I'm sharing the screen. And so section 5.1, and it's from an old book we used to use called Mathematical Odyssey. It's got a lot of neat real life application kind of stuff. But chapter 5 and is my favorite chapter. It's the finance chapter. So we have two formulas to learn from the simple interest section. I equals PRT, and that stands for interest equals principal times the rate times the time. Simple as that. Principal times rate times time. The other thing we see for principal, we can refer to as present value. Okay. Then, so that's how to find out the amount of interest earned over the course of time with simple interest. Now, if we wanted to figure out the we wanted to figure out the future value in our account, we'd use this formula. Future value equals present value plus interest. Okay, future value equals present value plus interest. Okay, and we just learned that interest was PRT. So what we could do is we could simplify this formula by writing PRT in for interest. Then we could factor out that P, right? And we got future value equals present value times the quantity 1 plus rate times time. Okay, so the two formulas that we are going to need in this section, right there. Future value is P times 1 plus RT, and the other one, I equals PRT. Okay, those are the two formulas. All right, now we have, I think there's like three examples to go over before you are going to work on the assignment. So the first example looks like this. You are going to borrow $340,000 for 120 days. So what is the simple interest on a loan of $340,000 at 5.1% interest for 120 days? So, I mean, where would this situation arise? Suppose you are a shop owner. I mean, I use the Berg ski shop example, and you need to buy all this equipment in order to stack your inventory to sell right before ski season. So, around July, you might borrow a bunch of money to buy a bunch of stuff to sell, and the bank's gonna want it back in 120 days. Right? So, what is the bank's profit on this is what we are asking. So we have our present value is $340,000. And then we have our interest rate is 5.1%. So we are going to make that 0.051. And then our time is 120 days. The important thing about time in this formula is it has to be in years. Okay. So it's 120, 365ths of a year. All righty. So then we put it into the formula. Interest equals principal times rate times time. So 340,000 times 0.051 times 120 over 365. All right, I'll write that down while I let the dog out. Never know what you're going to see today in this video. Mabel, you are a pain in the backside. All right, go, go. I'm coming back. Coffee's gone. That's a shame. All right. Here we go. So I put that in my calculator, right? And yeah, and they give you how to do it on your calculator in the notes. Make sure you convert the 5.1% also over to decimal. All right. And you end up getting $5,700.82. So that is the cost that the bank is going to charge you for doing business with them. So you're going to have to come up with $345,700.82, right? When they come knocking for their money. All right, here we go. Let's do uh another one. So you're a young person just getting out of college and you're like, I need a car to get around to work. So you go to grandma and you say, Grandma, can I borrow a little bit of money to buy a car? So she said, sure, but you know you're going to pay me back at the end of 278 days. Because in 278 days, I am planning a trip to Vegas with all my 80-year-old buddies, and I need that money back. Okay? And I know people in Vegas, so if you don't give me that money back, they're going to come cracking your knees. Okay, so find the future value of an $8,950 loan at 9.5% paid back in 200. All right, let's write down what we know. So we know our present value is $8,950. Okay. My interest rate is 9.5%, which transfers over to 0.095. And my time is going to be 278 365th of a year. All righty. So I'm going to write down the formula and I'm going to plug in what I know and then calculate what I don't know. So future value equals present value 8,950, 1 plus 0.095 times 278, 365ths. Fire that one into the old calculator, just put it in right the way it looks, right? You do this, 8950, 1 plus 0.095 times 278 over 365, end parentheses, enter. So that's all you put in your calculator. Do not try to do this stuff piecemeal. I would say put it in one single step. All right, everybody? So in 278 days, you have this big, scary looking person at your door saying, Grandma wants her money back. So you best go digging under your mattress and come up with $9,597.59. And there's our future value. Okay, to avoid a crack in the knees. All right. Let's go. What if we had the opposite thing we wanted to do? We wanted to save up for something, right? We wanted to maybe you're going to college in a year and a half or whatever, and you got this flat screen TV over there at the Costco. You're like, I want that TV. What do I need to put in an account now so I have that money when I want to go buy that TV? All right, so suppose we need a future value of $1,900. All right, that's what that TV costs. It's gonna be a darn nice TV. I got to tell you, I've looked at TV prices and they're plummeting. So $1,900 is my future value. I'm gonna get an interest rate of 5.875% on my investment, and I am going to need that money. I guess I'm not going to college for a while, 2 years and 7 months from now. All right. Okay, so 2 years and 7 months, that's 2 and 7/12 years. So that if we do 2 times 12 is 24 plus 7 is 31/12 of the year. That's going to be mine. All right. I'm going to use the future value formula. Excuse me. E plot times 1 plus RT. So plug in the numbers we know. So the numbers we know are future value, rate, and time. And then we're going to be able to solve for present value. Okay, so future value, 1900, present value is P, 1 plus 0.05875 times 31/12. All right, so on your calculator, I wish I was there to show you this, but you're going to enter this on your calculator, right? And then after you hit enter, it's going to store that answer, right? It's going to store that answer. And if I decimally approximate it out to 4 decimal places, I'd get that. Then, of course, you're going to divide by that. So P is going to be 19 divided by 1.1518. So you are going to have to come up with $1,649.63. All right. And when I get back, I guess I put the textbook pages for these sections on Canvas. I hope I did. If I didn't, I will before after I finish this video. I don't think the answers are in there. You don't have a back of the book. So you may get an answer that's slightly different from your neighbor if you choose to round this thing in your calculator. Me, I would have the calculator store that 1.158 blah 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 in whatever it's storing it in, then do 1900 divided by answer, and then you'd have it. Okay? Now, everybody, fact of the matter remains, life, you required here, if you want to borrow money for things like a house or a car, something that later on down the line, you need to do what's called establishing credit. The last thing that your parents are going to tell you to do is open a credit card. I agree, you're young, you don't have to open a credit card yet, but eventually you're going to have to open a credit card. And the reason is that people like mortgage brokers and auto loan people, they want to know that you have the ability to pay stuff back. So by having a card, a credit card, showing that you're able to pay stuff back on time, you end up getting a credit rating which goes up based on how well you pay your debt off month to month, okay? Higher the credit limit, the higher the credit rating, the lower the interest rates you'll get when you borrow. All right? So, it's a vicious cycle. But we're going to look at how banks do credit cards. First of all, we have an example. This is from the book. I'm not sure where in the book, but we have one cycle of our credit card. The period is from June 26th through, what, 6, 7, oh boy. Henry, you're going to like that one. So 6/26 through 7/25, that's my period. If June's got 30 days, so this is a 30-day period. All right, 30-day period. Our credit card has a 19.5% interest rate on it. You're a new credit card owner, that's probably about reality, okay? So here's what we know. Going in on June 26th, our balance is $396.88. All right, $396.88. So our activity over that in that 30-day period then, on June 30th, we're going to make a payment. We're going to make a payment of $100. All right, what that does is that decreases what we owe. That decreases what we owe. So our what we owe on that credit card is going to go down by $100. On July 2nd, we're going to go buy gas. All right, we must not need much gas, so we have a really small car because we only spend $36.19 on that gas on July 2nd. Then on July 10th, we decide to go out to eat. So we go out to eat on July 10th. and we spend $53 going out to eat. Okay. Now, this is actual real life mathematics. Credit card companies really do what you're about to see here, and they really charge you interest the way I'm about to show you. Okay. So we're going to split this month up into four multi-day periods. Okay. The first multi-day period runs us from June 26th through June 29th, because on June 30th, my amount that I owe is going to go down by $100. All right. So then I have amount owed is going to be 396.88 over those number of days. The number of days, there's the thing I was going to ask for. Now, y'all are going to tell me it's just 3 days, dude. June 26th to 29. 29 minus 26 is 3 days. All right, let's use our fingers. 26, 27, 28, 29. That's 4 days. 4 days, okay? So the number of days she's going to owe 396.88 is 4. Then on June 30th, she makes a payment. I guess it's a person that is a lady that is borrowing, since I called her a her. Okay, so from June 30th to July 1st, our amount owed goes down by 100 buckaroos. So the amount we owe is now going to be 296.88. So for that 2 days, right, June 30th and July 1st, this person owes $296.88. Okay, then on July 2nd, we make a payment. So from July 2nd up to July 9th, because on I mean we buy some gas on July 2nd. So from July 2nd to July 9th, we have we buy some gas for $36.19. Hey everybody, that increases the amount owed. So I have to put plus 36.19, and then for those number of days, we actually owe 333.07. July 2nd to July 9th is going to be 8 days, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8 days. And then we don't use that credit card for the rest of the time. So from July 10th through July 25th, we actually go out to eat. So we increase our debt again by $53 for those last days of the month. So for those last days of the month, we owe 386.07. So that's going to end up being 16 days. We end up getting 30 days. Okay, so now I want to figure out my average daily balance, right? So you figuring the average daily balance has got to be the amount owed each day added together divided by the total number of days in the month, right? So my average daily balance over this first 4 days here is going to be 396.88. But then over the next 2 days, I only owe 296.88. So I'd have to add 396.88 4 times plus 296.88 2 times, and then divide by 6 in order to find the average daily balance over that first 3 days. Well, then I got to add 333.07 8 times and 386.07 16 times. And I got to add those 30 numbers together and divide by 30 at the end to get my average daily balance. The easier way to do it is to multiply these guys straight across. So if I multiply, 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 multiply straight across, then this is going to be 396.88 4 times plus 296.88 2 times plus 333.07 8 times plus 386.07 16 times. So then I'd only have to add 4 numbers up instead of adding 30 numbers. So multiply these 4 multiplications, add them down, and then you got all 4 of those, or all 30 of those numbers added together, and I get this. So later on, we're going to use spreadsheets to do this. I say the amount owed, I call that a data value X. And then I say the number of days is a frequency value, F. So then this column ends up being the frequency times the amount, so FF. All right. Then 30 is my N. This is going to be sum of FX. All right. So then my average daily balance equals sum of the FX divided by N. So 11,022.96 divided by 30. Make that calculation. My average daily balance, therefore, is 367.43. That, everybody, is what the bank figures the finance charge on. So that's what the bank now is going to charge you interest based on, all right? You can't just borrow money from this credit card that is run by a bank for free. You have to pay in order to use that privilege, okay? So my finance charge equals principal times rate times time. My principal is going to be the average daily balance. My rate is going to be 0.195, and my time is going to be 30 days over 365. So then my finance charge, everybody, ends up being $5.89, to which you're like, that's no big deal. I'm only paying $5.89 in interest. Hey, everybody, that's only for a $367 balance, right? A 36 to $3,600 balance now is going to be like $58 a month. So there we have it. There it is. I hope that that lesson came through okay. Reach out with any questions. All right. We will see you later.